Okay, so we're going to talk about the passé composé. The passé composé means it is composed of two parts. Composé means composed. And it's composed of two parts, which are an auxiliary verb, or un verbe auxiliaire, plus a past participle. And I'm doing these parts in English right now. Obviously, participle. Or verb auxiliaire, plus participe passé. So a lot of times when I explain this, I start mixing up the terms or using sometimes English and sometimes French. So le verbe auxiliaire plus le participe passé. We're going to be starting with, most of the time, the auxiliary verb is avoir, and that's what we are starting with. So avoir is the auxiliary verb plus the past participle or participe passé. That means avoir needs to be in the present tense plus the past participle. The past participle never changes, which is not quite true, and you'll find that out later. But right now, just believe me, it never changes. The past participle is the same no matter what. For example, and the past participle for regular verbs is pretty predictable. So the past participle for ER verbs, for example, let's say, écouter. The past participle is écouter. The past participle for IR verbs, as in finir, is fini, just has an I on the end. So the ER is gone on this one, and you have an E accent aigu here. And the IR is gone, and you have just an I there. And the past participle for RE verbs, as in vendre, you take off the RE and you put an U on the end. Vendu. So to say, I listened to the teacher, you would put in the present tense of avoir, j'ai écouté la prof. Present tense avoir and the past participle. To say we listened to the teacher, it would be nous avons écouté la prof. Present tense avoir plus the past participle. So what if I wanted to say Jorge listened to the teacher? What comes next? Ah. And then what comes next? Following the same pattern. Oui. Écoutez la prof. Okay? Let's go to finir. What if you wanted to say, now that you see the pattern, what if you wanted to say, I finished my homework? What goes first? Yeah, it's j'ai, and then fini mes devoirs. How about this? How about for this one with nous? What would it be? Nous avons fini. We don't want to say my homework. We finished my homework. That would be kind of cheating probably, because you and somebody else doing your homework. No. Okay, nous avons fini nos devoirs. let's do a different one now instead of Jorge. How about vous? I can barely hear you guys. What is it? Vous? You guys have your chart with avoir? You can look at it if you didn't remember. Oui, vous avez. Très bien. Vous avez fini vos devoirs. See how easy it is? This never changes. The past participle isn't changing. However, the present tense of avoir is changing, and so that's why the objective was that you make sure that you know avoir without having to look at it up. Okay, let's tell somebody you sold your bike. So how would you say I sold my bike? J'ai vendu mon vélo. Let's say Jorge sold his bike. Sorry, Jorge. Jorge a vendu son vélo. How about all the girls in this class sold their bikes? Les filles, oui, let's do that. Les filles ont vendu, well, actually it's going to be leur vélo, because they're all their bikes. Okay, any questions on this? Notice how the vendu never changes, but avoir does change, the present tense. Is it all still up there on the screen? To start with. Être is the other auxiliary verb. It comes up in a couple lessons, but we're going to get real comfortable with using the passé composé before we go to those. So most of them use avoir. Remember that you have to have avoir with this. This is the whole thing. You can't just put the past participle in there, because this is the thing, is that it's a past, it's a composed, it's a compound verb form in French. It's not a simple form. It needs two parts to put it in the past. You need both parts. This makes écouter the past tense. It makes it we listened. It doesn't, okay? So that's what you need to remember, that when you're using it. You need both parts.